CKD, the magical formula for competitive pricing in Malaysia. It's great for our local supply chain, job opportunities, and a better product overall for customers. Well, the last one can be subjective to car basis, but it certainly applies to this locally assembled MG S5 EV. Now, only one high-spec variant on offer, prices slashed down to 116,000 ringgit, replete with enhanced features, more power, and longer range, making this the most competitive price and affordable EV SUV in its segment. But how does it stack up against the EMA 7, Atto 3, and the Leapmotor C10? Let's find out. My name's Adrian, I'm all about the details, and you're watching cDrive. Like its other rivals, the MG S5 EV rides on a pure electric platform, the modular scalable platform shared with its sibling, the MG4, so you're not losing out on that front. In terms of wheelbase, it's considered one of the longer one in class, 2,730mm, which is 10mm longer than the BYD Atto 3, a mere 5mm shorter than the Leapmotor C10. However, at this price point, the EMA 7 EV with 2,750mm remains to be the longest one. On the exterior front, it's identical in terms of design and equipment as the CBU units. A big thumbs up for me on the MG S5 EV CKD continues to roll on the Bridgestone Turanza T005 premium touring tyres, which prioritizes driving comfort and quietness with the latest enlightened technology applied, offering best-in-class wet grip performance, longer mileage, and reduced rolling resistance for better electric consumption. Who says with lower prices, you need to cheapen out on spec? Around the front, there's an active intake grille below, whose main function is to provide more efficient cooling towards the high voltage battery, not too much related to aerodynamics. When the high voltage battery needs more efficient heat dissipation, it will open up. In terms of aerodynamic elements, there are wind curtains on the side, and around the side mirror caps, there are aero vanes to direct air across, reducing turbulence around the A-pillar. Despite the same 62 kWh LFP battery capacity, thanks to the revised and more efficient electric motor, range is now extended up to 446 km based on the WLTP test cycle. And it has one of the longest range and DC input in its class, up to 150 kilowatts, which allows a 10 to 80% charge in 26 minutes. However, AC charging is kept at 7 kilowatts, so a full charge with an AC wall box would take approximately 9 hours. Boot space opens up to 453 liters, but that is with the false boot floor in its lowest position. Yep, just like that, and you're easily throw in your suitcases as such. However, I feel that it's best to have the false boot floor in the top setting so that you have a little bit of storage space or hidden compartment underneath it. Keyless entry on the MG S5 EV is considered rudimentary for an EV because it doesn't have an auto unlock or lock as you approach the car, so you have to press the physical button that's available on both front doors to unlock the door. Yeah. The interior of the MG S5 retains the same minimalistic design. In the CKD variant, you get enhanced features such as full leatherette seats that comes with powered function for the passenger seat, as well as ventilation for both front seats with 3 fan speed settings, again at a lower price. I like the position of the 12.8-inch floating touchscreen infotainment system that's very easy to read, has a UI layout similar to like an iPad, very large widgets and icons all around, and it's easy enough to understand. And once you're linked with Apple CarPlay, it still retains a row of shortcut keys at the bottom and at the top for quick access. It's just very logical. But the only thing that it's not as vibrant or exciting as other screens in the segment. But the highlight of the interior is this row of physical buttons right here that not only adjust your fan speed, but also temperature controls, allowing you to just, while you're driving, just very quickly adjust the fan speed, just like that, on the fly. I can't believe I'm saying this is a fantastic feature in a car in 2026. I also like the position of the cup holders, and if you don't want to have your phone at the wireless charging tray, you can position at this slot right here, which I think is very smart. And the side door bins fits a large size water bottle, easy, and you get plenty of storage space over to the center here, and a center armrest with two Type-C ports to connect your multimedia. And over to the driver's side, the left side of the steering spoke controls your ACC functions, your speed, your distance, and on the right side is for your multimedia controls. The center button here cycles through the different driving information display over to the instrument cluster. And on the MG S5, there are two customizable shortcut keys, which I've programmed the left button to pull up my 360-degree camera, and on the right side is where I adjust the regenerative braking intensity. And a fair warning for those who are using the vanity lights at night, it's quite blinding. Despite having one of the longer wheelbase in class 2730mm, I have the front seat adjusted to my usual driving position. I'm 175 cm tall, and I have only about 3 tennis balls worth of knee room. Now, although the floor is completely flat, however, I find that the seat base can be a little bit short for my liking. And another caveat is that it does not come with recline angle adjustment in the MG S5 EV. So if you're looking for really outright space, comfort, sofa, couch-like experience to the rear seats, definitely the other competitors would offer a lot better rear seating experience. However, it's still perfectly fine for everyday use. Now, you have amenities such as a center armrest with 2 cup holders, a USB Type-C charging port, and parents with children were able to safely secure their kids on the 2 outer seats with ISOFIX mounting points. Now, before setting off in the MG S5 EV, you ought to go into driving control mode because there are 5 drive modes available: normal, sport, comfort, snow, and custom, and you should set up the car before setting off. So in normal and sport mode, you're able to turn on one pedal driving, but not in comfort mode, which I find it a little bit odd. Now, underneath here, there's a comfort braking. Make sure you turn it on. It helps the car modulate a little bit better, a little bit smoother, especially when you're transitioning between regenerative braking and to mechanical brakes. Now, here, the one pedal drive, it's a very smooth operator. So first-time EV drivers, without too much experience, you just have to be a little bit of finesse with your right foot, and your passengers will not feel nauseous even if you're driving with one pedal mode. Now, once you've set up the driving control just right, head on over to MG Pilot. Here, you're able to adjust all the ADAS warnings. So, for example, your speed. Now, personally, I will turn off speed limit recognition as well as the lane keep assist. That's my personal setting. And then you go up to the first button here, MG Pilot Custom. You press and hold, and then it will save your preferred settings. And once you have your preferred settings, every single time you hop into the car, just swipe down from the top of the screen, turn it on MG Pilot Custom, so you don't have to one by one and select all the submenus. And once you've done all that, you're ready to set off. Initial acceleration when you're setting off, you get the impression that you're driving characteristics more akin to a hybrid. Now, where a lot of EVs, they pride themselves for the instantaneous acceleration. However, MG, the priority for this is more of a family SUV. So the acceleration really is in a very linear, gradual fashion. Torque does not come on instantaneously, which is very friendly for first-time EV drivers, that allows them to better modulate the throttle pedal without rocking their passengers' brains off. Now, in terms of suspension, it's set up to be more of a comfort-oriented side of things. So when you're going over bumps and undulations, it absorbs it very well, and the car does not oscillate all that much, so not to worry on that front. Out on the open road, it's a world of a difference in terms of power output compared to the CPU variants. Thanks to the increased electric motor output, now 203 horsepower, 350 Newton meters of torque. The MG S5 EV finally has enough power to keep up with its class rivals. In terms of dynamics, the MG S5 EV is definitely one of the more satisfying and dynamic one in the segment, thanks to its near 50-50 weight distribution, being lightest among its class rivals in terms of curb weight, and of course its rear-wheel drive setup. However, inherently you feel that this is a very athletic car. It's just that the suspension is not up for it. If only they have stiffened up the suspension by say about 30%, this will be very much in hot hatch category. But yeah, again, it's a family SUV, so they've set it up this way. In summary, the MG S5 EV is a value-packed, smooth and fun-driving family electric SUV. However, if you're looking for a swanky design or the largest interior space, then this MG S5 EV may not be to your liking. So the next time out comparing EV SUVs under the 120,000 ringgit price point, make sure you remember all the intricate details of the MG S5 EV from my video and see how those cars stacks up against this locally assembled MG. My name is Adrian, thanks for watching cDrive, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more detailed videos like this. Bye bye.